Welcome to the award-winning Thrustcast with Robb and Cochran. Episode 82, Shoe Millionaire.
Cool.
I got a few things. Yeah. A few things for on a piece of paper. No notes though.
Phone numbers.
just a whole bunch of not technically notes.
Yeah.
Not really doodles. I don't know what they are.
So did you watch the Super Bowl?
I did. I saw the Super Bowl.
You did see the Super Bowl? Do you watch it? Do you watch it for the ads? Are you one of those people?
No. Ideally, what I would like to do is actually like sit down in a room like by myself, or maybe with like one or two other people who kind of take the game seriously and watch it with them.
Yeah.
I'm not an ad guy. No, I haven't been impressed by the ads in years. I think they're all like they all try to like just one up each other as far as like how dumb and stupid, and I don't know. They're repulsive to me at this point.
Ads are like kind of like fast food to me, where it's like when people have an opinion on it, it's kind of sad. Doesn't really matter what their opinion is of it, you know?
Yeah.
It's like the fact that you were thinking about it this much kind of bothers me.
There's overthinking.
What's going on in your life that you like are comparing ads to each other? Like they're like Progressive insurance ads or something. Come on.
Right. Yeah, I mean that's taking it a little too far. Like, oh, that was a really good ad. You know why? Yeah. Why?
You should be ignoring these. Do something with your life. Stop paying attention to this shit.
That's the purpose of ads, is to skip them, you know?
Yeah. That's why God invented VCRs. Fast forward through that shit. Exactly. What I should have done is record the Super Bowl on my VCR and then watch it later with the fast forward on. Do you have a VCR still?
No, I don't.
Me neither.
No, I don't know. I don't think Nope, I can't locate one right now.
I did read some stupid article about people who collect VHS tapes now. It's like the cool thing to do.
Well, I got a whole bunch in my somewhere.
Do you still have them?
I do, yeah.
Yeah, I got rid of mine.
Got all my VHS tapes, got all my DVDs, got everything. Everything.
VHS, it didn't look that good in the first place, and it degrades over time. So I don't really see the point in saving it.
For the boxes? I don't know.
Anyway.
They're not going to be worth any money.
Yeah, I think people are collecting it as like kind of like collector's items, not necessarily like I watch VHS tapes. Although there is kind of a dickhead movement going on right now of people, of indie bands putting out, at least there was like a few years ago, of indie bands putting out cassette tapes.
Yeah, I did hear about that. That's pretty pretentious, and
that's super pretentious. They're trying to be like, yeah, it's like low tech, but it's also like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, like you have to go out and buy a Walkman to listen to our stuff. It's that elite, you know.
Yeah, you got to go out. You have to go out and buy a used hatchback that has a tape deck in it to listen to our album. That's how cool we are.
Speaking of the internet, can we talk about something? Can we talk about the internet for a second? You want to talk about deepfakes? I'm not sure if this was a deepfake or just a fake. I don't know how deep of a fake it might have been.
Are we going dark web, or are we just going?
No, this is light web.
The light web, the regular
light web,
the regular net.
This is light web. Yeah, this is easy going web.
Okay.
easy viewing web.
Okay. Take me there, man.
Are you familiar with, or do you have like a doorbell camera?
No.
All right. Okay. Would you ever think about getting one?
It's not out of the realm of possibility, but it's not on my list of things that I want.
Gotcha. I've thought about it. I installed our doorbell about a year and a half ago, and it just started working this past month. But as I was installing
a camera?
It's not a camera one. But as I was installing, I'm like, it might be cool to have like one of those camera ones. And they're not even that expensive, you know. I'm like trying to think about home surveillance a little bit, you know. Got a lot to, guard.
Have you taken the leap or the jump into the world of smart homes?
No.
You don't have any
even.
of that shit where you talk to your refrigerator or you say, hey,
No.
you're like, hey, order me some tomatoes.
No,
Hey,
we don't have
Amazon,
any of that.
order me some toilet paper. You don't have that?
No, we didn't go that route. No.
It's a wise
And
move.
we looked at refrigerators over the course of last year, and we ended up getting the cheapest one because we looked at some that you can like they're smart ones, like you just said. You can look inside of them like without opening them. You know, it gives you the list of the inventory. I'm like, that seems like a lot of work. You know?
Yeah. Fuck that.
Integrating your
I know what's
house.
in my refrigerator. I don't need to talk to my refrigerator. I don't need to talk to my Spotify playlist. I don't need why do I need to talk to all these things?
Yeah, exactly. I know it's in my refrigerator. I'm never opening the refrigerator and being surprised. I'm usually being disappointed.
Pop quiz. What's in your refrigerator, Cochran? Tell me right now.
Right now, there's some.
I was kidding. I don't really what you guys.
You could go through it all. By the way, have you ever watched online doorbell camera footage?
No.
No,
I'm sure I've
All
seen
right.
one or two, but no, not
Yeah,
as
I mean-
a hobby.
You don't do it in your spare time. Just seek out Google doorbell footage.
No.
You should.
I
Well,
have seen one, but
I didn't either, but I came across this video of a doorbell cam that picked up a delivery driver dropping off packages. This must have been around Halloween time because there were Halloween decorations strewn throughout the yard and up the stairs to the porch.
or it could have just been
And,
a trashy neighborhood.
Could have been trashy.
We just do Halloween all year long here in this neighborhood.
Could have been June. I don't know. But so the delivery guy gets out of his truck, comes around, panel van, gets the boxes out, and he's carrying them to where they're stacked in front of his face, right? So he comes up the stairs, like maybe like 4 or 5 stairs, not like a huge staircase, and trips on one of the pumpkins and drops the packages, and they fly all over the porch.
Like some real Home Alone shit.
Yeah, and like I'm watching it, and like I'm like, all right, let's see what happens next. And he proceeds to completely destroy every piece of Halloween decoration he can find. Like every pumpkin he smashes, like all the skeletons he tears apart. He like starts kicking the boxes, all kinds of stuff. And then he realizes, like, he takes a deep breath and he's like, oh shit, like what have I done kind of thing, right? And he's like looking around.
It's not about the packages or falling over at that point. He's got a lot of other stuff going on, I think.
He's got like this guy needs a vacation or like, you know, a beer or something. Like this guy needs to talk to something. But he looks and like I don't know if you can ever really know that it's a doorbell cam, but like somehow he realized it was a doorbell cam, and then he's like, "Oh fuck, I really fucked up," right? So he tries to like pick up pieces of pumpkin and shit, and I'm like, "This isn't going to end well," you know. It already hasn't started well. He's fucked. This guy's going to lose his job, everything. He goes back to the van and he gets a wad of cash. Like I mean, like a lot of cash. He shows it to the doorbell cam. And he's like motioning like he's going to put it underneath the door. And he's like, you know, gives a thumbs up and like, you know, bows down like he's sorry and stuff.
He's not making it better at this point.
No, he's making. Oh, I didn't. He also tried to pry the doorbell camera off of the wall too.
I mean, I'm sorry, man.
So they left money, and then like there are never any follow-ups to any of these videos. I don't know what happened to the doorbell guy, you know. But I also don't even know if it was real. I question if anything is ever real on the internet. So I'm like, was this just all like, you know, a ploy?
Did some
a
teenagers
fake?
make this video because they thought it would be funny?
Right.
They could
Was
get it
this
on the
just
news.
to fake me out? You know, just to fake me out.
Yeah. Is this all just some ruse that you know, a bunch of teenagers and ruffians are putting together to put on YouTube and TikTok to hopefully one day trickle down to you and confuse you about the situation? Is that what this is all about? I think it might be. I think it's all about you.
I think it is. I mean, like they're like, I bet he'll ponder this for days, and I have, and I will.
The thing is, that video is so old. Those kids are dead.
I would just like. Do you remember how like on like Maury Povich or like Sally Jesse Raphael, like they would have like a follow up episode of like what happened to the people, you know, after like, you know, stuff happened to them, you know, like a year later they'd be like, let's check in on them. That's what I wish I could see, like on some of these internet videos, like be like, you know, how's that guy doing? You know, is he still employed?
I'm sure there's something out there that does. There's probably a website or something that tries to do that anyway.
If there isn't, we should start one.
I'm gonna start an app. We're starting an app.
Start an app.
Let's start an app.
Let's start an app.
I mean, we've got a lot of apps on the burners right now. We're spinning a lot of app plates at the moment, but we can always fit another app up there.
I say we toss another app plate in the air. App plates.
Apps, here we come.
Oh, man.
You in the market, Cochran? Are you in the financial markets?
In the market.
I've been thinking about the financial markets recently. Have you been? I don't know. Are you in the markets?
I guess I dabble in the markets. I dabble.
Do you go big on GameStop and whatever the fuck else is going? What that was? I don't even know.
The GameStop thing is really interesting to me in the sense that, like, I mean, I don't really follow the stock market. I have a few things, and like I like checking on them.
Right.
They're like long-term things, so it's like, why even bother like looking at them to be disappointed or excited, because it doesn't matter.
You're invested in the Titanic sailing company.
Long-term stuff. It's coming back.
It's coming back. The Titanic. They're gonna find it.
Titanic.
My Titanic bonds are gonna finally pay off.
They're gonna surface. It's gonna be great.
You watch. They're gonna bring that ship back up, and people are gonna sail on that ship.
Mark my words.
Yeah, it's gonna happen.
Yeah. Just shove a whole bunch of balloons down there, and like they'll inflate, and the thing rises, and then
no one thought of that
aboard.
before. You're the first person. You're the first person to think of that. Well, I did just read a new article about maybe James Cameron is invested in this. He'd be smart if he was. About how people are. Actually, it was an article about the secondary shoe market.
Okay,
so
all
like,
right.
I don't know if you know. Do you know about the secondary shoe market?
I think I might, just because. All right, so we're talking about ads and stuff. I saw this ad twice tonight, even before we started talking. About sneakers, eBay / sneakers, and it's like, you know, you can sell your shoes on eBay and people will buy them. Yeah, is that what you're talking about?
Kind of like that. Yeah, I mean, but there are whole other marketplaces like that are shoe specific or like basically shoe specific. Okay. Where I mean, original Air Jordans are somewhere in the range of like $50,000, I think.
What?
You know what I mean? And so, like, people are kind of investing in these shoes thinking there's, like, going to be they're like a collectible, you know?
Yeah.
So, I mean, first of all, like, you know how I feel about conventional wisdom? It's usually wrong.
It's usually wrong.
The conventional wisdom now is like, well, we got to get the economy back, you know, back to the way it was. We got to get go back at like the old way, you know, the way it was before the pandemic. But the way I look at it is like the economy we had before the pandemic collapsed, right? It didn't work. It almost wiped out civilization. And so like, we need to do something different, right?
You have to adapt.
We have to adapt. And so I'm thinking maybe shoes or something, stuff like shoes is stuff that we should start building our economy around. I think we should base it on buying and selling 45-year-old sneakers. What do you think? Are you in on this?
I could get in on this. Now, are you saying the sneakers themselves should be currency?
I'm just saying, like, we gotta figure out something new, and so maybe maybe you do invest in a closet full of Air Jordan sneakers or Allen Iverson 2s instead of putting your money in the stock market. Instead of putting your money into beachfront property, maybe we should all just be investing in shoes.
I think
get me some Yeezys, man. I want some Yeezys, which I don't even know what that is.
I don't know what that is either.
But that seems to be like the popular shoe, and I can't figure out what it is or why it's popular or who it's.
It sounds like something you would look funny wearing.
I imagine all Yeezys are bright yellow. Give me some Yeezys.
I hope so. Neon insert color, neon green. I want that.
See, now
I like that idea though.
Yeah.
Alternative investing is awesome. I feel like, and like I think like if you're smart enough to come up with something like sneakers to invest in, and like there's a market for it. As long as there's a market for it, like hell, you can make money on it eventually down the line.
As long as there's a market for it.
Exactly. As long as there's a market for it, supply and demand, right? That's what it all boils down to. And that is only going to get like finer with age, right? Well, those sneakers. So, I mean, those sneakers in the box,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, leather or whatever the material is that, those poor children built those Air Jordans from. I mean, they probably don't deteriorate for like, 60, 70, 80 years. I don't know. They'll be fine. Sell them like a year before they're ready to like explode.
As long as they're still in the box, they'll last for a real long time.
Exactly. Wow.
But also think about the future we're headed towards, where luxuries like shoes. I mean, the shoe factories they're going to be closed in 10 years. Like we're gonna once that solar flare hits, we're done. So like, so not only it was like, I mean, you can invest in these shoes, thinking that like our culture will continue and people will still want to put their money into stupid bullshit like Michael Jordan basketball shoes, or you can be investing in them looking to an even different future where society's collapsing, shit's going down, shoes are going to be valuable. I got 300 pairs of shoes in my closet. Like you're a shoe millionaire. That's almost like living next to a grocery store or something.
Kinda, yeah. You're that corner of the market. You're a monopoly of sneakers. Huh. I like this.
Well, what some of these guys are doing is they're because the Yeezys and like all these shoes.
I don't know why it's funny. It is really. I just love saying it. It sounds funny coming from you.
But the Yeezys and the kids these days and their Yeezys, they're getting all Yeezy'd out on their shoes. But so these shoes, they only have like a certain limited amount that are made. They're like, it's the 2019 Model A or whatever, this color, whatever. It's hard to get. Right. And so that's how they're building value into some of these things. So what these guys will do, these like secondary shoe market vipers, will go online and they have AI bots and stuff, and guys, they literally have a team of people that just go online and start like, because you can only buy one pair of shoes per person, right? But they have all this software, all this technology that gets around that. So they end up buying like, $150,000 worth of shoes in one day. Jeez, yeah. But then they keep them and then they sell them. They turn around and sell them for like 20% more. And that's what these guys are doing. And then a lot of these people that are buying these shoes are buying them in the hopes that like, the value is going to go up. Right. But you know what it reminds me of? It kind of reminds me of, remember baseball cards in the 90s? Absolutely. Where everyone's like, what? Baseball cards from the 50s are worth $30,000 and whatever? And then so everyone just started buying all kinds of baseball cards in the 90s. And then it backfired because now everybody had these fucking cards. They weren't rare. No, they weren't. So now if you have all these shoes, you kind of need society to collapse to make your investment worth it. Maybe. Yeah, a little bit. Unless you're just like the Game Stoppers who like hype up the value of the shoe, right? Yeah. And trade it real quick, right? Just trade it real quick, and then start, getting online and start devaluing the shoes somehow on Twitter. Yeah.
and then buy them again under another user, right? Buy them back, buy the entire stock back under a different user, and then then be like, oh, it's psych. No, these Yeezys are worth $1 million now.
Man, you definitely lost me halfway through that, but I'm pretty sure you're gonna make a ton of money.
Tons of money.
Money.
How many pairs of shoes do you own?
Me personally?
Yeah.
5 maybe, if you count like sandals and dress shoes and whatever. Not that many.
5. Yeah. All right.
I'm not big on lots of shoes.
Gotcha.
I got my daily shoes and that's it. You know how I roll.
I do know how you roll.
You know how I roll.
In your Yeezys.
I got 4 pairs of Yeezys in 8 different colors. That's right, 1 color for each shoe.
1 color for each foot.
Yeah. So I don't know, man. I think it's a new way forward. That's the way we got to do it. A lot of people would say that, the fact that people are investing all their stimulus checks into sneakers and Dogecoin and GameStop and all this shit. Everyone's like, oh, well, you're just like it's just this fake. It's just you guys are like you're making this fake value. You're like creating this value on something that has no inherent value. It's like, well, what the fuck? Like that's the whole fucking economy. It's all imaginary. So like, why can't we just invest in shoes? Why can't shoes be the thing we invest in?
Right.
Or clock radios. Remember, like clock radios from the 70s. I've got, you know what I mean? Like, why not? VHS tapes. Let's start investing in VHS tapes. That's where I got, I sold my beach house and I threw that money. I liquidated it and I put it, right now I'm invested pretty heavily into VHS.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, you think the technology's coming back? No, the tapes. I bought a bunch of the tapes.
Yeah, the tapes.
I bought a collection of VHS tapes from the Prince estate. It's worth millions.
Well, it's the same people that bitch about like Dogecoin and sneaker heads that are like, we're heavily invested in war bonds, I mean, that's what we have to invest in again is war bonds.
You think sneakers are the new war bonds?
I think sneakers are the new war bonds. I don't know how the war bonds paid out for people, though. I don't know.
Well, they got their war. So I guess it worked out.
They kept getting wars.
Yeah, that war fucking happened. So
yeah,
I guess the war bonds paid off.
All right, I'm going to invest in sneakers now. All right, I like it. Quick question.
Okay.
Do you feel like you're getting old? Or like, I mean, I feel like, but like, do you ever like do you ever look in the mirror?
Yeah, I do.
I seldom do, but like, you know what? I noticed the other day. I think I'm starting to get old neck.
Old neck?
Yeah, old neck.
Oh,
old neck? I don't know.
Maybe?
It's kind of like, I'm always been skinny, but like now I feel like it's like starting to like only be skinny in my neck.
You're getting so you're losing weight from the neck.
I'm just gonna invest heavily in turtlenecks.
Why don't you just start doing like Wait, do you mean to wear or do you mean to invest in?
Oh, nice.
Can you get like an original like Arnold Palmer turtleneck from the 60s? That's probably worth so much money.
I mean, that could be our side market to the sneakers, Like, if you're into these Yeezys, it might complement this really well.
Have you seen our collection of Richard Roundtree turtlenecks?
This vintage 1960 Roundtree.
You have to supply your own leather jacket, but...
Oh, man.
I think your neck's fine, Cochran. I wouldn't worry about it.
Thanks.
It looks great.
I appreciate it. Thanks. I'm just gonna keep growing the hair on it.
You could always just grow the full beard, the full neck beard, all the way down.
Full neck.
Just full. If you have a beard that's just like, just don't trim anything below your face. Just grow it out. Just let the beard like merge into the chest hair, and you're just. Full on ape. Just go ape, man.
Full on carpet ape.
Just be a carpet ape.
Carpet ape.
Chicks
I love
dig it. Chicks dig it. Hey, can we talk about simulation theory?
I would like to, yes.
I did see saw a movie recently. It played at Sundance. It was called Glitch in the Matrix. It was kind of a talking heads documentary, you know what I mean? Where it's just like people saying like, hey, this is something about that I think about simulation theory, and just kind of doing whatever.
Yeah.
These people were not experts. They were just, as far as I could tell, just dudes. I didn't really look up who they were. They weren't credentialed in anything. Like simulation theory isn't something that you can really be an expert on. There's no science to it.
Right.
You know?
It's not definitive, really.
But it did. The movie was framed around the speech that Philip K. Dick gave in 1977 in France, which I had no idea that like he was kind of like one of the first people to come up with this simulation theory framework. So he claims this is what. Now keep in mind, Philip K. Dick was kind of a lunatic. You know, he was kind of like, he was paranoid. He was kind of fucked in the head. He did a lot of drugs, as far as I know.
So he was like the sci-fi Hunter S. Thompson. Kind
of, yeah, I guess so.
Okay.
So like he had, you know, he had his own things going on, but what he claims was he all of a sudden one day got these flashes of memories of a like a prison planet. Let me see. I wrote down what he called it. He had a sudden vision of an alternate Earth of prisons, jailers, and ubiquitous police. Now he hated the cops. Like he pretty much like everything in all of his books basically had a, you know, he was afraid of being arrested. He was super paranoid about police and government and whatever. So he said he had these like visions of this world, but it was like simultaneous to now. Yeah. You know? And so he was basically telling these people in this speech that he was giving in France, he's like, I've seen the other side. He's like, there's no way to prove it. He's like, but I've seen it. He's like, there's an alternate world happening right now. We are all in prison, basically, and this is all just a simulation. I mean, a lot of these guys in this documentary, they all like had this epiphany, it seems like, at some point in their lives where they're like, oh, this could all be fake. And they kind of just convinced themselves that it was by like looking at things and going like, well, this means that things are fake, and this means that and it's confirmation bias primarily, I think, but it's also just like, I don't know, everybody who's in a religion and really believes in that religion, they've all had those experiences where they're like, they have a flash and it all makes sense. Yes, of course.
But do you want simulation theory to be? Do you want this to be this? I'd rather be living in this, although I think we could do a better job than, you know, if we were on a prison planet, you know?
I don't have an opinion on what I want because I don't know what if we're in a simulation, we don't know what the other side is like.
Right.
So it's like, do I want the simulation? Do I want to die and then like wake up in quote unquote reality and be in prison for the rest of my life? No, I don't want that to happen.
Right. So, well, first of all, like, do we have a choice to be in the simulation, or is it just like forced upon us as prisoners? But then if we were prisoners, why would they want us to be in a simulation where we were probably happier, you know?
That's a really good question. What's the benefit of that?
Right. What is the benefit of that? Unless we're not like just like in a dream state where like we're incapacitated, we're actually like moving and walking around and doing like physical labor. But while we're doing the physical labor, that's like so like demoralizing or, you know, exhausting in our brains in the simulation. We're like, oh man, yeah, I got to get up and go to work today and cook eggs. And oh man, this is a great day. The sun's shining and, you know, there's a bird, you know?
That's still better.
It's still better. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Do you ever be doing something shitty and you're just like, I just wish I could just like literally just be somewhere else right now?
All the time.
Maybe that's what we all were dreaming. We're like, man, this prison sucks. Let's all just be somewhere else right now.
Yeah.
Although you think it would be better.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you can make it a little bit better than this,
But then again, every piece of technology I use is a failure on some level. At some point, it just doesn't work. And so maybe we're in a computer simulation that's just not that good. That makes sense. Maybe it was built by, Americans. And that just explains why it's not that good.
Or maybe like he was on the right track, but this is like, maybe this is the prison planet, so to speak. And like, because obviously we don't have communication with our simulation self. So our other simulation self is living in like kind of like a utopia where it's like, being fed grapes and being, I don't know, whatever. It's like, it's great, One
idea that this documentary did introduce to me, which I never like really considered, is that if we're in a simulation, like maybe when you die, you just kind of wake up in whatever version of like a video game arcade is, and you're like, oh, cool, I just lived a life on Earth, whatever, or whatever, like that reality, and then you can just go right back to it. You're like, oh, cool, I'll play one more game,
Restart. I'm not gonna lie, I've read like theories like that, and if there's anything that I've kind of because isn't that kind of what deja vu is in a way? Like,
no, deja vu is apparently a glitch that shows you, according to the Matrix movie.
For the Matrix, okay.
It's that's what it's a glitch that shows up when they've changed some code in the background.
Gotcha.
But they also like, these guys who are like simulation theory guys, they use things like, I don't know, like coincidences and quote unquote synchronicities to be like, whoa, man, it all means something, right? Like we must be in a computer simulation because every 12th day, like my daughter wants to eat hot dogs for lunch, or something like this.
Right.
And it's like, you're just looking for patterns. Like that could prove anything. Like that doesn't mean we're living in a computer.
Well, that's so true too, and you can definitely program your brain to like think like that too. So if you want to believe something, like you'll see more and more and more and more of it. People who believe in religion see acts of God in places. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
People who believe in simulation theory can like see those little glitches or repetitiveness. I, for one, hate personalized license plates. I see all the time personalized license
constantly.
Plates. You can train your brain to absolutely think like that. So
you can see L. Ron Hubbard in a pancake. Actually, did you consider that if we're living, if the prison planet thing is real, if Philip K. Dick was onto something and he's been there, if he was there and he came back and said, this is, we're all living in prison. If that's real, does that mean L. Ron Hubbard was right?
Right about
the fact, like the whole prison planet thing, like where Xenu like gathered up all the people who didn't want to pay their taxes, put them on a prison planet, and it was Earth, right?
Yeah, I guess you could draw that parallel. Yeah, absolutely.
It's the same story. Do you think? Maybe he's right. Maybe Philip K. Dick like figured it out. He was like, you know what, L. Ron Hubbard, yeah, he was right. We're all living there right now. It just hasn't exploded yet.
Is Philip K. Dick still alive?
No, he died a long time ago.
He's dead? I wonder, did Philip K. Dick and L. Ron Hubbard die at like around the same time?
Probably on the same day.
Was Philip K. Dick the simulation version of L. Ron Hubbard?
Well, they lived. They lived in the same reality.
They lived in the same reality, but L. Ron Hubbard was a failed author. Philip K. Dick was a, acclaimed author. Philip K. Dick was a success story. L. Ron Hubbard was a failure, garbage person. I don't know.
I kind of like where you're going with this, but they lived at the same time, so it's kind of tough to pull off, I think.
I kind of like. Have you ever seen the Matt Damon movie where like man, there's like these guys in hats and suits who pull strings in the background and
The
try to make
Adjustment
him
Bureau.
the Adjustment Bureau.
No, I have not. I have not seen it.
All right, you should watch it because I go back and forth on whether or not it's the worst movie I've ever seen in my entire life, or if it's just a really good idea, just horribly done. I don't know. It's just a bad movie.
You're sure it's bad, but you keep watching it over and over again to figure out how bad it is.
Because it just frustrates me because it's like one of those ideas where it's like, that's a great idea. Man, I wish they could have pulled it off. They didn't. They fucked it all up. But what if like, the Adjustment Bureau concept was put into place with Philip K. Dick and L. Ron Hubbard? You know, like they couldn't meet, they couldn't intervene, their lives couldn't intertwine. You know,
well, I don't know. I don't
actually the same person.
I didn't see the movie, so I don't know the concept. But so, I don't know what you're talking about. But
just go with it.
Okay.
But maybe they didn't live in the same reality. Maybe they're put into our reality. You know, they're both put into our reality, but maybe they never even lived in this reality. You know,
maybe
that's even deeper. Like, so for instance, like,
I don't even...
well, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
How do you know Tom Cruise is actually a person?
I mean, as much as I can know anybody's a person.
I mean, I don't know. He could just be a simulation, like figment of our imagination.
Yeah, but you could say that
collective.
You could say that about literally anything in the universe.
Correct, except for like the people that you meet or know.
Even that. No, of course not.
Well, yeah, you could say that. Yeah.
That's the whole point of simulation theory, Cochran.
Right, I know.
All of this could be, we could be not in this. This could be not reality. Yeah,
I know.
So
but what if they like doubled down on Philip K. Dick and L. Ron Hubbard?
Now, a supposed tell of simulation theory is the Mandela Effect, which you're familiar with this.
I'm familiar with this.
Where people, you know, it got its name from people thinking that Nelson Mandela had died in jail, when in fact he didn't. And right. They're like, well, how do all these people remember this thing that didn't happen? And then the Berenstain Bears is another one. There's all these examples. But like, yes. First of all, how do these guys know that's proof of that? Right? They're like, well, this is proof of simulation theory. Why? But how does that, like, why? Because you found a simulation theory before and that's what proved it? No, that's never happened before. So, like, how is this proof? Also, did you ever take into account that maybe people are just fucking stupid? People remember shit wrong all the fucking time. You know what I mean? It goes back to that Tom Cruise thing. Like, all you need is enough people to see that video of him falling over and talking about Mikhail Gorbachev. You know, and then you get 5 of those people in the same room with 10 other people, and those 5 people are going to be like, no, we fucking saw it. It's true. And all of a sudden you have this like, and then they get the dumbass energy off of each other and they form together like Voltron. And like, that's just kind of how idiots like remember shit. Like they just feed off each other. And so people are stupid. So like this idea that like, oh, well, 200,000 people said they remember Nelson Mandela dying in jail. It's like, okay, I believe that. Right. Yeah, I absolutely believe that.
You believe that 200,000 people believe that?
No, yes, I absolutely believe that people believe that. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. I'm surprised it's not more people.
Exactly. I mean, that's how it all works. And you're right. The human brain is awful at remembering things that just happened. You know, I mean, that's the eyewitness account is not accurate whatsoever. Let alone like something that you'd never even experienced. But then you're like, oh no, I read about that or saw that, so now I believe it. You know?
Yeah. Do you ever have those? Do you ever have those thoughts when you were a kid that like you were in like it wasn't real, like it was a simulation? Because I did. I had those thoughts. I remember thinking that like what if I'm just like in like a tub somewhere This is like before the Matrix came out. Like I'm talking about like when I was a kid. You
Yeah.
know? And I'm just like, this is all just fake. Like I definitely had those thoughts, but I think that's just like, I think that's just normal shit. I think when your brain is forming and you're gaining consciousness in the world, like it's hard to figure out what reality is. So I think it's just normal to have those things. It doesn't mean it's true.
Exactly. Yeah, I never thought like it was. Well, I mean, it's hard to like to define simulation theory probably when you're like 12 or 13 years old, or like if that was even a thing then. I remember thinking that like, what if like this is my imagination?
Yeah.
You know what I mean, it's the same difference basically in a way, but like I remember like, especially after I saw Ferris Bueller's Day Off, before all the theories of like that was just like a dream of his, or Ferris doesn't even exist. It's all what's his name? Alan Ruck's character, the friend Cameron. It's all Cameron's imagination. I remember having those thoughts when I was a kid. I was like, I wonder if like I could actually like start controlling what people do, because like this might all just be my imagination.
Dude, I remember when I was like really little. I mean, like real little, like just barely old enough to walk probably or run. Because I remember like convincing myself that I might be able to fly. You know, like I remember like jumping on the couch and like going like, I think I was flying. I'm pretty sure I was flying, you know? And like, that doesn't mean I was flying. It just means I'm a kid and I'm an idiot, you know? And I'm like convincing myself of something that I want to be true. So I think like having these thoughts when you're young doesn't like, I don't know. People think it's like a window into like some sort of truth, and like it's not.
It's probably not.
Yeah,
it's probably not.
A part of me wants this all to be fake, and like even in just in the last couple of days since I've seen this movie and I've had it on my mind, I've looked at things going like, if I wanted to believe this was a simulation, like, I don't know, 50 things a day happen where I could be like, see, it's all fake, you know?
Definitely.
But I could do that.
Definitely.
You could do that for anything. If you decide you have bad luck one day, you could find 50 fucking things that say that show that like things aren't going your way. But if you look at it from the exact opposite perspective, you'll see the opposite, you know? So it just depends on what you want to see. But maybe we are in a simulation.
We could be in a simulation. What if video games are the reality and we're in the video game?
That's called simulation theory, Cochran. Have you been listening to anything I've said?
Wait.
Oh man. What do you say we wrap this up?
Let's tie a bow on it.
Put your money in shoes. This is all game. It's all a simulation. None of it's real. Fuck it all. This has been the award-winning Thrustcast. I'm Rob.
And I'm Cochran. Thrust off.